What's Up News Network, being broadcast from Panama City Beach, Florida, home of the world's most beautiful beaches. I am Jim Free with Jim Free Realty. Please click on the red subscribe button just below the picture. In the local news, following the COVID pandemic, the Warrior Beach retreat had been canceled, but now all the activities have returned. After months of active service, sacrifice, and toil, many soldiers returned wounded and broken. These veterans are now able to gather once again to support each other. Founder and President Linda Cope started this retreat 13 years ago after her son lost both of his legs below the knee in Iraq. She said there were a lot of resources out there for wounded warriors, but limited resources for caregivers. Couples across the country will be able to participate in activities all week long. On Wednesday, the women are enjoying a spa day while the men go deep sea fishing. There was a Warrior Beach retreat parade this Thursday, and local residents turned out in great numbers to greet our heroes. In the state news, I'd like to talk a little bit about our governor. We love our governor, and his credentials are outstanding. He has guided us through the China virus and caught a lot of heat from Joe Biden, Andrew Cuomo, Dr. Fauci, and the likes. Governor DeSantis believes in freedom and believes in the judgment of Floridians. Now all the states controlled by the Democrats are losing citizens to Florida. Ronald DeSantis was born September 14, 1978 in Jacksonville, Florida, the son of Karen and Ronald DeSantis. He is of Italian descent. His family moved to Orlando, Florida before relocating in Dunedin, Florida, where he was 6 years old. In 1991, he was a member of the Little League team from Dunedin that made it to the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. After graduating from high school in 1997, DeSantis attended Yale University. He was captain of the Yale's baseball team. On the Yale baseball team, DeSantis was an outfielder. As a senior in 2001, he had the team's best batting average of 336. He graduated from Yale with a BA magna cum laude in history. He then spent a year teaching history at Darlington School in Rome, Georgia, which happens to be my hometown, and my son graduated from Darlington a few years earlier. Too bad we could not keep him in Rome longer. The people in Rome are so good they have to hold on to the blackberry bushes to keep from being drawn into heaven. DeSantis then attended Harvard Law School, graduating in 2005 with a Juris Doctor cum laude. DeSantis received his Reserve Naval Officers Commission and assignment to the Judge Advocate General Court, JAG, in 2004 as the U.S. Navy Reserve Center, Dallas, Texas, while still a student at Harvard Law School. He completed the Navy Justice School in 2005. Later that year, he received orders to the JAG Trial Service Office Command Southeast at Naval Station Mayport, Florida, as a prosecutor. In 2006, he was promoted from lieutenant junior grade to lieutenant. He worked for the commander of the Joint Task Force Guantanamo, or GETMO, working directly with detainees, the Guantanamo Bay Joint Detention Facility. In 2007, DeSantis reported to the Naval Special Warfare Command Group in Coronado, California, where he was assigned to SEAL Team 1 and deployed to Iraq with the troop surge leader as their legal advisor to the Special Operations Task Force in Fallujah. DeSantis returned to the U.S. in 2008, at which time he was reassigned to the Naval Region's Southeast Legal Services. The U.S. Department of Justice appointed him to serve as an assistant U.S. attorney in the office in the Middle District of Florida. DeSantis was assigned as a trial defense counsel until his honorable discharge from active duty in February 2010. He was commissioned is a lieutenant in the Judge Advocate General Courts of the U.S. Navy Reserve. He was awarded the Bronze Star Medal, the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, and the Iraq Campaign Medal. I don't think it'll be long before we will be having a president, Ron DeSantis, and the whole country will have a president that they can be proud of. This story reportedly appeared in the Savannah Morning News personal ads. To the guy who tried to mug me in downtown Savannah last night. I was the guy wearing the black Burberry jacket you demanded I hand over shortly before you pulled the knife on my girlfriend and me. First, I would like to apologize for your embarrassment. I didn't expect you to wet your pants when I drew my pistol. The evening was not that cold on the Riverwalk. I was wearing the jacket to cover the new Kimber Custom 45 caliber pistol and the shoulder holster that my girlfriend had bought for my birthday. I had just completed my second tour of duty in Afghanistan, and I was hoping to spend a quiet weekend in Savannah. I know it was not fun walking back to wherever you came from with wet pants, barefooted, since I had made you leave your shoes, cell phone, and wallet. I called your mother, or mama, as you had her listed in the cell, and explained the entire episode. If you find some extra charges on your credit card, it is where I filled up my tank, several other customers at the service station's tanks, and the guy driving the big motorhome took 153 gallons, and he was extremely grateful. I gave your shoes to a homeless guy on Abercrombie Street. I saw a big pink pimp mobile parked outside a nightclub, so I knocked out the side window, left your wallet and ID in the front seat, and keyed your name on the driver's door. I made 2 threatening phone calls, one to the FBI and one to the Secret Service. The Secret Service guy was very interested when I told him the president was my target. He kept me on the line a long time. I guess he was tracing the call. Oh, I left your phone on your mama's front porch. Good luck, Alex. In Florida, it is not unusual to see a lot of old men walking on the beach. To onlookers, old Ed was just another weird old man walking on the pier, where he seemed to be almost where he had the world to himself. Ed is alone in his thoughts and his bucket of shrimp. Before long, he's no longer alone. Up in the sky, white dots come screeching and squawking, winging their way toward the lanky frames standing there on the end of the pier. Before long, dozens of seagulls have enveloped him, their wings fluttering and flapping wildly. Ed stands there tossing shrimp to the hungry birds. It has been said that if you listen, you would have heard him say thanks with a smile. In a few short minutes, the bucket is empty, and old Ed turns and begins to walk back to the beach, and a few of the birds hop along the pier with him. It is too bad that most of the onlookers don't know more about old Ed. You see, Ed's full name is Edward Vernon Rickenbacker. He was a famous hero during World War I, having shot down more enemy aircraft than any other airman. And then, in World War II, the President of the United States asked Captain Eddie Rickenbacker to deliver a message to General Douglas MacArthur, and Eddie and his crew were flying a B-17 bomber to MacArthur's location, and they had to ditch the B-17 in the Pacific. They had to leave the plane in such a hurry that the only rations they were able to save were 4 oranges. All 7 members of the crew survived the crash, but one of the sergeants swallowed a large amount of seawater and died on day 13. They fought the sun, sharks, and rough seas. Most of all, they fought hunger and thirst. Across America, millions wondered and prayed that Eddie Rickenbacker and his crew would be found alive. On day 8, the crew was weak. They had a simple devotion service and prayed for a miracle. That afternoon, Eddie tried to take a nap. He pulled his military cap over his nose. He felt something on his cap. He reached up and caught the seagull. They were in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and God sent a seagull. The crew ate the raw meat and bones from the seagull and used the intestines to fish where they caught additional fish every day. They also spotted a thunder shower that gave them much needed water. They continued this cycle until they were rescued after being at sea 21 days. Rickenbacker had lost over 80 pounds during this episode. Eddie Rickenbacker lived for many years beyond this ordeal, but he never forgot the sacrifice at the life-saving seagull, and he never stopped saying thank you. Eddie was a hero, just like the young men and women that gave their lives for this country in Afghanistan. This is not the first time God had sent a bird to save a life. In 1 Kings 17, the Lord told Elijah to hide out in the valley near the Jordan, and he ordered the ravens to bring him food. A lot of these old folks have stories to tell, but how can you tell when you're old? In a few months I will be 80. I don't feel that old, but I've had several indications that I am. I remember several years ago I was paying my bill at a restaurant and the clerk said, "With your discount it will be," and I said, "We don't take discounts," and she said, "It is not because you're in law enforcement, it's because of your age." Recently, my 5-year-old great-grandson said, "Pop, you sure are old." But the real clincher, and when you really know, is when the waitresses call you honey or darling. It's not an endearing term. She is just letting you know that she no longer thinks you're dangerous. It has been said that when you get too old to do bad things, you can give good advice. I think a lot can be said of that. And of course there are some exceptions. The 3 exceptions that come to my mind: Joe Biden, who is 78, he's actually a few years younger than I am, continues to make bad decisions. He thought it made sense to pull the troops out of Afghanistan in the middle of the night without telling our allies, our American citizens there, or the Afghans that helped us out during the 20 years that we were there. During this chaotic evacuation, 13 young military men and women lost their lives and hundreds of Afghans, leaving billions of dollars of military equipment to the Taliban. But look on the bright side. China will be glad to take over the Bagram Air Base. Yesterday, President Trump said his patience were wearing thin with those who had not taken the COVID vaccine, and he was going to force 80 million unvaccinated persons to get the shots or possibly lose their jobs. Mr. President, could it be possible because you and your vice president spent a year knocking the vaccine because it was President Trump that was having the vaccine developed in warp speed? When the vaccine did come available, you took credit for it and then tried to force it on everyone. I have had my 2 shots, and I am thankful for the warp speed program. And then there is Dr. Anthony Fauci, the 80-year-old darling of the media. We trusted you at the beginning of the pandemic, but then you began to flip-flop daily. A few days ago, you were all over the media predicting what the president announced yesterday. Sounds like it might be your plan. The only thing I want to hear out of you, Dr. Fauci, is the truth about the gain of function. You published a paper in 2012. You wanted the moratorium on gain of function research lifted. When that did not happen, it certainly looks like you funneled American tax dollars through the National Institute of Health and the EcoHealth Alliance to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, who in turn conducted gain of function research. Millions of people lost their lives, their health, their jobs, and their businesses because of this virus. I don't think it was intentional, but it might have been reckless misconduct, and we need to know so it doesn't happen again. And then there's Merrick Garland, who is only 68, which is a young man from my point of view, but he appears to be President Biden's puppet. This Attorney General loves to sue states. He is now filing suit against the great state of Texas because his friends don't like the abortion legislation that Texas passed. I would like to add a little class to this video. I know a lot of you are too young to be fans of the Platters, but you might enjoy this version of their great hit, The Great Pretender. Until we meet again, may God bless you, your family, and this great country that we live in.